Hi Scorpio, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, or should I say quick question. Please tell me, how was last week for you? All right, tell me. I want to know in the comments. Like before we get into any of this week's reading or anything like that, I want you to go to the comments and I want you to tell me how was last week for you, right? Especially around the middle of the week. Did shit get a little bit weird for you too? Or was it just me that was dealing with like all kinds of crazy crises and stuff? Anyway, let me know because I am very intrigued. With that said, remember, these are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. Use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. If you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves ya. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose, ooh, okay. Tarot hath spoken. And your jumping card is the Judgment card, right? So big changes this week, end of an era kind of stuff. Whenever the Judgment card shows up, there are big changes on the horizon. And what this kind of says to me more than anything else is in all of these different areas of life, this week you're going to feel, but you're also going to see the shifts that take place, right? This is where they're going to start to become sort of quite visceral, and I think you'll be very clear or very aware on what is what, let's say. For the other thing as well, remember with the Judgment card, I call this the blast from the past card because it has a very sort of, when we're talking about the end of an era, the reason that we call it, the reason that it's such a big deal is that you think back to the beginning and you think, wow, like, what, this whole thing has come full circle. What tends to happen with the Judgment card is, or, as I've sort of noticed and observed, it tends to bring someone, something, some situation, some, part of our lives back into the forefront. Now, if this comes in the guise of a person, very often it's only for assimilation of whatever the lesson was, as opposed to delving back into that thing with that person, all right? But just know, this is the retrograde card, right? Even though Mercury is now direct, well, certainly by the time we get to the end of the week, Mercury is direct, woo, yay, right? But this is the retrograde card. This is the blast from the past card. For your actions and options, you've got the King of Swords, so this could be an air sign male, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra that comes back into the forefront. It could also be that you're, because this card, it has a lot to do with like your profession, your career, and also your expertise, which means you could start flexing muscles or skills that maybe you haven't used in a long time and starting to put them to good. It also looks like you might be utilizing those skills in a very practical manner, right now moving forward. When it comes to your, come on brain, when it comes to the options that are available to you, this could be somebody that wants to help and support you, somebody that really wants to really sort of believes in the talents and skills that you have, but they are going to push you. That much I can definitely tell you. When it comes to your communications and conversations, you've got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune with the Judgment card, that's someone from your past reaching out. This is you reaching into the very depths of your history. This is like 20-ish years and more even, right? I would not be surprised if you hear from an old colleague, an old friend, somebody that you lived on the same street as when you were kids, someone that you went to high school or, here in the UK we call it secondary school, or even primary school with. Like, there could be a conversation or a throwback from the past this week that absolutely has you like, what the hell? But in a good way, right? It's the Wheel of Fortune. And this also means that you're going to see a shift or a change in the direction of the winds at this time. Now, you've got this underneath the King of Swords, excuse me, which means that in terms of the career and the profession, there are developments here that really swing in your favor. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, the Wheel of Fortune, especially around things like funding, grants, bursaries, or loans, this week actually things could come good. And because you've got the Judgment card here, if you have ever thought about going back to school, getting a piece of paper, getting some form of qualification, this week is really giving you the kick up the arse to say, yeah, this is the time to go for it. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, love the Wheel of Fortune. With the Judgment card though, this does suggest it's kind of like a quick development that shapes up for you in a way that you don't expect, right? And because you've got that King of Swords there, maybe, you know, you thought you had more time to step into a leadership role. Maybe you are kind of thrust with more responsibility than you expect this week. Maybe something just completely out of the blue opens up for you as well, especially from an old like source, like maybe somebody that you worked with before phones you up and says, oh, by the way, are you looking for a job? Because we've got something going. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, are you what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, yeah, if you're self-employed, business owner, etc., the results from hard work and effort that you've put in, and I'm speaking especially, not just, but especially to those of you that have been in business for around a decade plus. This week, you get to see where this all can go. How the hard work, the blood, sweat and tears really become worth it. Where you see this and say, okay, you know what, it was worth the slog. I really like this. And then for those of you that are retired and no longer working, with the Judgment card, this will be somebody that you, when you were working, this will be an old colleague that reaches out. It may actually be for some form of travel or even potentially a reunion. But I got to say, this is, you know, and not to say that only people that are 50 plus can retire, but this is going to be for people that are 50 plus. Like, you're going to be among the older bunch, because the I didn't say old because I can hear someone like, come in, just come here, yeah. Right? The Judgment card tends to, because it's one of the cards of the ancestors, and you know, the older you get, you become the elders, right? So for those elders among you, especially those of you that are retired and no longer working for any reason, this could be a good moment. All right, for your love and relations, you've got the Queen of Wands. So when it comes to partnership, marriage, so for those of you that are partnered, married, long-term commitment, this week you may need to set down some boundaries. All right, there might be some conversations that need to be had, especially where recurring issues come up. Now, this might be that somebody has already tested a boundary with you. They didn't get past it and they come back again because they think, oh, maybe this time I'll be able to get my way. You got to keep an eye on that, right? And you've got to keep that situation very firmly in check, as they say. Now, when it comes to your, those of you that are single and looking, it could be a fire sign person that you connect with. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Because we've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter, I'm leaning more towards the Sagittarius energy of this person, which could actually be very good for you. All right, like, and then what we see here as well, you've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands. This is 2 court cards out of a potential 4. And what this tells me is that this week is very heavy on the interpersonal stuff. There's a lot going on with other people. A lot of what you're doing or trying to do is tied to others in some way. Before we get into your money and materials, I just want to say my tarot course is now open for enrollment. So if you want to get your space, you can get that on the link in the description box below. You're going to be hearing about it forever, well, up until the 30th of this month. Enrollment opens on the 18th. It closes on the 30th. Groups are like, literally, I keep them to a maximum of 20 so that I can give you individual time, so that I can spend time getting to know you and really supporting you in the best way that I know how. I'm taking everything in this giant bulbous head, yes, and I'm trying to give it all to you. You get 12 weeks with me, so the live classes are like about 3 hours a piece. You get 5 bonus videos, 12 PDFs, more than that actually at this point. We're going to delve into the astrology of the cards. We're going to delve into the numerology of the cards. We are going to traverse the timelines. You get live client demo. You're even going to get live client practice, right? So that you get to really see and test and hone those skills that you have. And I'm really proud of one of my previous students. We're just about to wrap up the course. I had a guy who came in, he'd never picked up a tarot book prior to the course. He's now reading spreads. Yeah, I kid you not. At 12 weeks, not even 12 weeks, at 10 weeks, he was reading spreads, right? Like, so it can be done. What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, obviously. You also get the replays, so if you can't make the class, etc. I do say if you can't make at least 75% of the course, I won't give a certificate for it. But if you want that certificate, you know what to do. The course is 747, payable in 3 installments if that's easier for you. The first payment is a non-refundable deposit. So if you want to get on that, starts on the 5th of May. And I know for those of you that are like, Raf, you know, what about those of us that have got kids? The course ends on the 21st of July, which means you have you clock off for summer, school's out for summer, which means you can, you know, get a glass of wine in the evenings, pull out your deck of cards with your friends, and you can delve into it. So if you want to learn tarot, you want to learn to read like me, you know what to do. There's that in the link in the description box below. For your money and materials, you've got the 7 of Swords. Okay. I got to be really honest with you. I don't like this combination for money because it suggests that there is an old secret, lie or challenge or issue around money that's going to come to light this week. Everything else you've got working in your favour. The Wheel of Fortune potentially lessens the blow of this, but it's not the Sun. Right? So I can't say that it lessens the challenges. It may be that you dodge a bullet very quickly. It may be that what could have been really bad passes you by quite quickly. This could be, let's say somebody opens something in your name. Let's say you get an old charge or an old bank issue or credit history problem or whatever comes up, and you don't expect it, and you're like, oh, you know, this is a complete ball ache right now. But what concerns me is that it's the 7 of Swords, which means somewhere here there has been, you know, there's been a lie, there's been a fib, there's been a lie by omission even. And with the Judgment card, it's coming full circle. And what this means is you will get to see who it was, where it came from, what the source was, and more importantly, what was the why of it all. All right. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the 7 of Swords, this is a twist, right? And there's something here. Please be careful with your feet, your ankles, your shins, and your knees, like just your whole lower extremities, and also a part of your back, right? Like just be really, really look after your physical sort of self. And also when it comes to your nervous system, this week I would say really, really look after your nervous system, all right? Pay some good attention to it. When it comes to your home and environment, if there have been a spate of car thefts, and there's a few reasons I'm looking at this. If there has been a spate of car thefts in your local area, look after your vehicle this week. And more importantly, what you're going to discover, and I think this will be discovered sort of location wide, it's a scam, right? So there's probably like a couple of people that are running this. They're doing it together. It's not just one person randomly stealing a car here and there. Like somebody has a system around this kind of thing. So if you've noticed, like recently, there's been a lot of, you know, messages to say, oh, this was stolen last night or whatever. They're closing in anyway. It'll be revealed for, you know, probably inside this week. But you might be really surprised at how it shapes up. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Mostly, it looks like a pretty decent week, but let me know in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you soon.